fellow sailor, racer, and adventurer, Zop.
Good morning. I sailed with Bob for over 30 years. I enjoyed it. Bob's crew was a group of friends that wanted to learn how to sail. To be a crew member was easy, no sailing experience required. But he had some rules. No black-soled shoes, no new blue jeans, no yelling, no screaming. Some of those were Connie's rules also. Bob would teach you like he liked to. Bob would teach you because he was a coach. That's what he wanted to do. He could have had any top guys in the Northwest sail for him, but he didn't want that. He wanted to form the people that he brought on his boat, teach them how to sail, and we were a group of friends that just happened to sail. We weren't sailors that became friends. We were friends that sailed. It was a big difference there. He got rewarded by watching the crews come together. On many race days, many owners would not let guests on the boat, but Bob would allow me to bring my 6-year-old and 8-year-old in life vests, and we'd tie them on the transom in the back there. And Bob would stand the whole time talking to them, didn't care about the race. Both of those kids have grown up now and they both sail, thanks to Bob. Okay, some of you are going to have a hard time following this next part of the story. But those of you who are over 70, gray-haired, and grew up at a different time, it might be easy. Okay? And I'll tie all this together. It's going to take a little bit, but we'll get there. There is only one song that is dedicated to Thanksgiving. It's called Alice's Restaurant, sang by a guy named Arlo Guthrie. It's about 20 minutes long. And so pay attention, download it later, but listen to what I have to say right now. It's about a nice person and littering. Now, how all this comes together. Arlo is played by Bob, a nice guy. The restaurant, which the song is about, the boat is Dealer. Bob gets a phone call before one of these races we talked about in Van Isle. It's from another racer in Canada. He called because his radar was in the United States and he needed it in Canada. Connie? Nice guy, Bob says yes. Forever, those words haunted him for the rest of his life. Keep in mind, those of us who sailed with Bob for a long time, referred to Bob as a used car dealer that was honest. You got that, Bob? He always spoke the truth. Now we're in Canadian customs, and maybe Danny, you could help me here. Was that Pender Harbor? Who?
That's Pender Harbor.
Okay. Yeah, Bedwell Harbor. Yeah. We have been done with all the radio and giving them all our information. Keep in mind the boat name was Dealer. This has raised a red flag with them for some reason. I have nothing in it. I don't know what the hell that was about. Keep in mind when you're going to another country, you have to stay on the boat. So the 8 of us had to stay on the boat when Bob wandered up the dock and made the phone call that we are here. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited. There was no custom person on the dock, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. Later, this brand new custom agent, maybe 20-something, with a great big smile, with her brand new uniform and her brand new clipboard in hand. She was filling out the blanks with Bob's name, the boat, dealer, blah, 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 blah. I asked, "Don't you want the name of our dinghy?" She looks up. I tell her, the name of the dinghy is French Connection. For those who don't remember, it was a movie about smuggling. She can't find a place to put this on the form, so she puts it on the side. But she did write it down. Bob gives her a tour of the boat. It takes forever. He talks about every detail, every cranny, all of Connie's little drawers and cabinets and everything else. I'm sure they all went through that. So, we're back at the dock. They're done. She has her clipboard in hand. All she needs to do is sign the papers and hand them to Bob, and we're gone. This is a pretty simple thing, you know, with all of us looking on. She asked if there was anything he needed to claim. Bob's a used car salesman. This can't be a problem. All Bob has to do is sign the papers. We get out of here. We finally get to leave. Now, this used car salesman decides it's time for him to tell about the radar that we're smuggling over for another racer. And all 8 of us are on the boat with the whites of our eyes and our mouth open going, "No!" Well, we got through that. She was famous after that because her first inspection, she busted somebody. We are now the crew, and we have a convicted criminal with us, Bob, the used car salesman, with his treasured Nexus pass and a court date to accompany him for the rest of his life. This part of the story goes back to the song. We are now Group W. If for those of you who remember that song, you read it again. There's Group W. This is where the gentleman is in his draft board, and he gets sent to the side with all the killers, fathers, and mother rapers for littering. Only Connie can tell you how long it took for the used car salesman to clear his name and get that trusted Nexus card back. The moral of the story is like the song. Don't litter. Don't tell her you have a radar below deck. Arlo got to go to Alice's restaurant for Thanksgiving dinner with a ticket in hand for littering. Bob, the used car salesman, got to do the Van Isle with a ticket in hand. I can't remember if the radar was confiscated or still with us. The whole race, Bob could not accept the fact that he got busted. Bob was a nice guy with a big smile. Now, that was the sailing. Now I'd like to, if you could, I'd like to talk just a moment about this building. Bob opened the world up to sailing for so many people. I mean, we could come on the boat. You didn't have to have sailing knowledge or anything. He would teach you that. He liked giving people the chance. So when we always heard about this desire for him to build this building, and we always knew if there was a rowing regatta or a sailing regatta, we were going to stay home, he was going to go rowing. That was always made very clear to us. So when it came time to build this building, it was payback time for us. We all formed a line and said, "Bob, we're here to help you." He says, "I need a leader." All of us took a step back, except for that guy right over there. He was too busy talking, didn't know what was going on. And we had a leader because he had stepped forward. Thanks to Danny's leadership, we got this building done. It was payback time. the task we enjoyed. Giving back to your community is a nice feeling. Try it. Connie, I need 2 things from you. You have cookies in your pocket, and I need a hug. Thank you.